Hello there and welcome to the latest episode of TSAtv Newsdesk from the people at TheSixthAxis.com, bringing you all the news in the world of gaming for the week ending November 10th, 2013. We've got a massive show this week, what with next gen now merely days away, so we'll kick straight off with some Xbox One news. Following last week's news about custom soundtracks on PS4, Microsoft have confirmed that the Xbox One supports the DNLA media streaming protocol via the company's Play 2 feature in Windows, and that the console can also play audio CDs. However, CDs cannot be ripped to the hard drive and, like the PS4, the Xbox One has no native support for playback of MP3s and the like. Buyers can also stream 15 tracks from the Xbox Music service for free before needing to sign up for a subscription. Microsoft has also confirmed that while you'll still be able to use the console's HDMI pass-through to watch TV through your Xbox One in the UK, the console's Xbox Guide overlay won't be available here until next year. And you'll also need to download and install the Day 1 update for the console before being able to use it at all. 3D Blu-rays won't be playable on the Xbox One at launch, however a whole bunch of media services will be available. The usual suspects like 4OD, LoveFilm and Netflix will all be available during the launch window in the UK, along with more specialist apps like TED, Twitch, Machinima and Eurosport, although the BBC's iPlayer is conspicuously absent. On the game side, Microsoft has revealed season passes for both Forza 5 and Rise, and confirmed that Rise's multiplayer challenge editor won't be available on day 1, while PopCap's timed Xbox One exclusive Peggle 2 will be available in December, and Dead Rising 3 is the first next-gen game to run at only 30 frames per second at 720p. A lucky pre-orderer who received their console early has also confirmed that Xbox One games will feature similarly sized installs to their PS4 versions, as expected. NBA 2K14 is currently the largest game listed on the Game Store at 50GB, while Call of Duty Ghosts is 39GB, Rise is 34GB and Forza 5 is 31GB. The smallest is Fighter Killer Instinct at only 2.4GB. Moving over to the PS4, a new Assassin's Creed Black Flag bundle is arriving in time for launch, replacing the Watch Dogs bundle following that game's delay last month, and the Killzone featuring Mega Bundle has apparently been delayed until after launch in certain European countries. Those include Finland, Portugal and Germany. Over in the US, Sony has revealed that all PS4s will come with a voucher for a 30-day trial of PlayStation Plus, the same again for Music Unlimited, and $10 in credit for the PlayStation Store. The company has also confirmed that media service is available at the US launch, but there's no word yet on the UK lineup. Netflix, Now TV, ITV, Blinkbox and LoveFilm told TSA earlier in the week that they couldn't yet confirm details on apps for the PS4. Games-wise, Doki-Doki Universe is due to release in December, while Diablo 3 on PS4 will allow players to transfer their characters from the PS3 version of the game, and will be packaged together with an upcoming expansion, Reaper of Souls, in the Ultimate Evil Edition due sometime next year. But there's no word yet on whether the expansion itself will come to the already available PS3 and Xbox 360 versions of the game. The PS4 version of NBA 2K14 will require a 50GB install, and will come with exclusive content including a PlayStation-themed court in the game's Park mode, while Just Dance 2014 on the console will actually be playable using only the PlayStation camera, and will not require any Move controllers. And 4-player co-op puzzle game Tiny Brains will be able to use any Move controllers you do have lying around if you don't fancy investing in 4 pricey DualShock 4s just yet. Moving on to the rest of this week's show, Sony have announced MLB 14 The Show, expected in spring for PS3, Vita and for the first time PS4. The next World of Warcraft expansion is Warlords of Draenor and will be diving into the history of the Warcraft series. A free-to-play iOS and Android Doctor Who game called Legacy will launch alongside the series' 50th anniversary later this month, and Activision have surprised no one in confirming that new Call of Duty and Skylanders games will be released in 2014. Konami has finally confirmed that Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zero will be a standalone release, arriving in spring for current and next gen, although it'll be download only for PS4 and Xbox One. Impressive PC racing sim Project Cars is on the way to PS4, Xbox One and Valve's Steam OS, while Future Labs Velocity Ultra will launch for PS3 next week, with a PC version on the way too. Fighting title Legend of Raven is confirmed to release on PS4 and Xbox One alongside the previously announced Vita version, and Sega are bringing the Vita version of Hatsune Miku Project Diva F to the West following the success of the PS3 edition. Valve has released the first image and details of its prototype Steam machine, confirming that it will perhaps surprisingly not produce exclusive games for the upcoming Steam-centric operating system that runs on the living room boxes. No pricing or release plans were announced for the scheme, but the company says those details, along with a list of compatible games, will be available in January. Publisher Take-Two says it currently has 10 next-gen titles in development, including the imminent NBA 2K14, the Turtle Rock title codenamed Evolve that it picked up from THQ, and a new IP from the company's new Bay Area studio. Elsewhere, God of War Ascension director Todd Papy has left Sony's Santa Monica studio, and Child of Light director Patrick Plourde has suggested that Ubisoft internally considers cult classic Beyond Good and Evil a mistake, which doesn't bode all that well for the apparently still in development sequel announced back in 2008 and now expected on next-gen consoles. In other news, a new trailer for Gran Turismo 6 suggests that you'll be able to drive on the surface of the moon. Blizzard has suggested a free-to-play version of World of Warcraft is not something that it is currently considering, and Ubisoft has confirmed that the expected patch that adds Rayman Legends invasion levels to the Vita version of the game is still on the way. The just released Call of Duty Ghosts has reduced the number of split-screen players down from 4 to 2 on both current and next-gen, while the PS3 and 360 versions are limited to only 12 players online, resulting in the removal of the series' larger Ground War multiplayer mode. Square Enix has revealed the Eidos IPs that indie teams can pitch to work on through their new collective crowdsourcing website, and Nintendo has trademarked Detective Pikachu, which sounds like a probable name for the 3DS title we mentioned last week. Speaking of Nintendo, the company has suspended the Swap Note messaging feature of the 3DS due to abuse, with Japanese sites suggesting that paedophilia rings had been targeting the service, while Sega is bringing 3D Classics versions of some of its titles to the handheld, and 5 new series are coming to Nintendo Video, including a spoof nature documentary about Pikmin, and a line of comedy shorts based on The Legend of Zelda, titled The Misadventures of Link. Finally, Sony Japan has announced a Pocket Station app for the PlayStation Vita, and the PS3 has now sold 80 million units worldwide. Impressive given the console's initial woes, but still nowhere near the 150 million lifetime sales of the PS2. It's chart time, and Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag has beaten Battlefield 4 to number 1, with EA's military shooter having to settle for second place. Neither title managed to beat the sales records of the previous entries in their series though, with Black Flag benefiting from an additional few days of sales having released on a Tuesday. FIFA 14 sticks at number 3 for another week, while Grand Theft Auto 5 is down 2 to 4, and Batman Arkham Origins falls 4 places from last week's number 1 to this week's number 5. Elsewhere in the chart, Football Manager 2014 arrives at number 6, WWE 2K14 enters at number 7, and Angry Birds Star Wars on consoles and handhelds launches at number 30. Sony have also released the PlayStation Store charts, with Grand Theft Auto 5 remaining at number 1, although Battlefield 4 and Assassin's Creed Black Flag managed 3rd and 4th respectively, admirable given that they both only released in the last week of the month. Amy benefits from a 78p price point during the recent horror sale to top the downloadable specific list, with Rain entering at number 2 and The Wolf Among Us' Season Pass taking 4th place, while Hotline Miami reigns over the Vita chart. Time for the usual last few bits to wrap up the show. The 3.00 update for Vita is now available, adding the PS4 Link app, as well as a new parental controls app, and the camera, email, friends, messages and party chat apps have all received a refresh. The latest Humble Bundle includes Scribblenauts Unlimited and the Batman Arkham games, and PSN users can now add up to 2,000 friends ahead of the PS4 launch. Talking of PS4, a special lounge space with demo units for the console opens up in Covent Garden this coming Friday, and a Match 3 puzzle game that hooks into Knack is now available on iOS. Finally, the GTA 5 1.05 update and the stimulus package for the game's multiplayer mode are both now finally live, while the online service for the PSN Oddity Pain will be shutting down on November 26th, and Sony are hooking up with Spike TV in the US for an all-access PS4 launch special on Thursday night that will apparently feature new game announcements. A bizarre teaser released by Sony this week suggests one of them might be a PS4 Street Fighter game. Whew, told you it was a massive show. For more on everything in this week's episode and more, head over to TheSixthAxis.com and give us a like on Facebook or a follow on Twitter to keep up to date with the news as it happens. We'll be back next week with more Newsdesk, but until then, thanks for watching.